Hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to get into Megan Thee Stallion and what her relationship is with RM and what people are saying online about these two, because there's a lot of speculation going on. I also want to get into a plastic surgeon who has addressed Jin and what is going on with this. That one is definitely a very fun one. So grab your dumpling, a tea spilling mug merch, and let's jump into the tea. If you are new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified anytime a new video drops. And if you're a hater, like to be first, leave your hate comment. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also, and you'll be first to do so. Now let's jump into it. The first thing I want to get into today is RM or Namjoon and Megan. The two have met, if you aren't aware, and they even did a little collab together too. Nothing formal like an official track, just a simple remix, but it was definitely a very good one. It's the remix to Butter, and it was so amazing. She absolutely killed her verse. A lot of people do collabs with BTS in a way of a remix. I think Sia was one person who remixed one BTS song, so did Nicki Minaj. Surprisingly, none of these people were asked to be on the official track, which I think is weird because they're big names. So they can definitely be on the official track. But I do hear Nicki Minaj on a verse is very pricey. But a lot of these people haven't met BTS formally on camera or anything like that. I don't know if BTS has any interaction with Sia or Nicki Minaj, and if any of them have ever hung out similar to how BTS and Megan did. If you didn't know, BTS and Megan had a video that just dropped of them hanging out at a rooftop. I don't know if this is the hotel that Megan or BTS was staying at. I assume it might have been Megan's, because at the end of the video, she said thanks for coming. So that would insinuate BTS came to her, not her to BTS. From this cute interaction video, ARMYs had a lot to say online. A lot of them were excited that Megan and BTS finally met, and they were even talking about doing another collab thing where they do it big with a video, and they were talking about teaching Megan the dance that Jungkook, Jimin, and J-Hope did to the remix. Some even came up with this idea that Megan and RM were dating, or even just initially dating. I was seeing comments everywhere saying that Megan had admitted that her bias was RM. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Megan and RM spent the whole time talking, obviously, because his English is the best, but people saw the chemistry and they assumed that if Megan had to pick a bias, it would be RM, because it's kind of hard not to like someone like RM after you spend some time talking to him. You start to realize how intelligent he is. Now, while I don't deny that Megan's bias could be RM, it could be any of the members, but I couldn't find the official source in which she ever formally said that. But the internet seems to assume it's RM. I don't believe she ever said it in a clip or really talked too much about the boys individually. I don't think she has heard the entire discography of BTS, because the remix happened right after WAP, and then Megan had her own song. I don't think she had time to listen to all of BTS's work to determine her bias, you know? Some people online had a similar thought too, of not really being sure who her bias could be and saying maybe it's not RM, because I don't know where people got that info. But saying Megan's bias could be different depending on what clips she has seen of each of the members, because with a lot of different performances, BTS members put on a different behavior. So Jungkook is more hot in my time than he would be performing, let's say, Dynamite, right? Although he always looks hot anyway. People were then taking moments of Megan and RM and putting them together to say they are dating or they have a spark between them, and even saying that maybe there was something going on with them for a short time. Well, our boys are uncomfy with hookups, we know that, and I don't believe RM would be Megan's boyfriend's type. I'm going to be honest, RM seems a bit too innocent, unless Megan likes that. We don't know her preferences other than from her music. But the theories and rumors increased when it was seen or resurfaced that RM had written a little something something about our girl Megan. And that's right, he wrote a few words addressing Megan apparently. As screenshotted and shared by ARMYs, there was a post where RM seemed to have written out Megan's name in Korean, and some people translated it as RM saying Megan is the best, and others have just used the Weverse translator and said that it says Megan-chan, which is basically saying he likes Megan, right? Like, it's not insulting Megan. I do think RM thinks Megan is great. They wouldn't have even bothered meeting Megan if they didn't think so. They're at this point in their career where they do have to be careful who they meet and try to find people who are genuine and kind. It is difficult to find people who are kind in Hollywood. I think we give a lot of hate to people who use BTS for clout or hate on BTS, and don't get me wrong, you should never be rude or mean to someone or say awful things. But we also need to realize these people are coming from a really hurt background. The industry does not treat you kindly, and the way those people treat others can be a big reflection how they were treated in the industry. So even treat the haters kindly. That's no excuse for their behavior, right? But still, choose kindness. Megan probably got some hate too, but she still treats people kindly. BTS got a lot of discrimination and hardships on their journey, and they still treat people kindly. It's not an excuse, but I still prefer to treat everyone kindly. Halsey, I will say, had a little bit of an easier time in the industry, it seems. I'm sure there's stuff behind the scenes we don't know about, maybe even some of Me Too stuff, because that stuff does happen. But from what it seems like from the outside, it seems her career was very linear, and she didn't have to fight too hard for a spot on TV or get promotion for her music or any of that stuff. The boys constantly get a lot of backlash and hate from the industry, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that people don't want to admit that an Asian group is winning right now. But I remember a decade ago, there was this conversation of Asian invasion. The top YouTubers were Asian. The Asian stereotypes were going crazy. Every time I would solve a math problem in class correctly, it was Asian invasion. It's happening. But nothing actually happened. There wasn't Asians on TV. There wasn't any representation. If you're an Asian boy and went to a school in America, I'm sure you can admit how difficult it was to make friends without changing who you are. You probably had to adapt and change to fit a white culture's mold. And that's difficult. But I do think the idea of Asian invasion is actually happening now. There's so much more Asian representation now in the industry, and the industry is coming around. So much so that people are saying their ideal face is someone that might look Asian. One person that had a plastic surgeon address recently was Jin from BTS obviously, and said that Jin had an ideal face. This was an interview they had with a surgeon. I believe this was on Naver, and claimed that Jin had the ideal handsome standard, and that is what a typical man who is handsome would look like. Oof, we raising the standard of beauty to an unattainable one here. How am I supposed to look like Jin? But the surgeon's exact words were, he has the best face and eye shape. I think the outline of the picture number 7 is the best. It is very well balanced. It's probably Jin's face. The width of his eyes is long and underline is soft. The nose is high. The natural nose shape is also attractive. Above all, he has a beautiful face. Wow, what a praise here. Jin is really handsome. He is definitely someone that I look at from time to time and is always like, wow. But, I think the other members are just as handsome. I don't understand why he gets all the praise of being good looking. I feel like it's because he says it so much that when you think handsome, you just remember Jin saying, Mr. Worldwide Handsome. But like, for example, Jungkook, he has a perfect face as well. BTS is largely successful because all the members look really good. I don't think it's just Jin. Every one of the members has someone's ideal face. Some people will want to look like Jungkook or Jin, and other people want to look like Jimin. I do want to add a quick note about plastic surgery. At the end of the day, do whatever you want to do and do whatever makes you confident. If that's a nose job, then that is your decision. But I want the decision not to come from a place of, if I get this nose job, I'll finally be accepted by society, or I'll only be pretty if my eyes were bigger. Do it because it's a thing you want to change, like for an aesthetic reason or whatever. Don't do it because internally you hate the position you're in your life. Because the surgery really wouldn't change too much. People do care how you look, let's be real, but to a certain extent. You can still be average looking and be wildly successful in any industry. I personally do plan to continue to grow and all that, but let's be real, I'm average looking. I'm not anything special looking. This isn't me being self-deprecating, but it's the truth. There could be people saying I'm good looking, others say I'm ugly. I know where I am on the scale, so I never take those comments to heart. I mean, I don't attract models by how I look, and I wouldn't be able to sit here and get views for doing thirst traps. But people would still marry me and date me if I had a banging personality, which I'm working on. Love yourself, find internal peace with yourself, and if after that point you still want the surgery, then that is your decision. You're an adult. But don't do it because you think your life will be different, because what that's going to do is once the surgery is done and you realize it didn't change much, you're going to go back and it doesn't end. You're amazing and don't change. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it on the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for your guys. And as always, I do have a Patreon if you want to go over there and check that out. I have a lot of videos over there that I can't really post on here. This is due to copyright or get taken down, so I do keep it over there on my Patreon. You get videos over there like music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions. You can also recommend things you would like to see over there. We do currently have over 400 videos that are already up on there. They have access to the moment you sign up. So if you're interested in any of that, link is in the top description down below. There's a video over there that goes over how you can support this channel even more if you would like to do that. That video is free to watch and it's on the front page. With that said, there's 2 videos that will appear up on screen at the end of this video, so click on one of those and I'll see you over there. Bye.